The first reports came from the government, the Libyan government, saying that British airplanes had attacked Sarir oil field. But on the contrary, we're also hearing from the rebels saying that actually Colonel Gaddafi's forces are to blame. And if we look at the map, we can put this in some sort of geographical context, and you'll see Sarir oil field just southeast of Benghazi there. Now, up until this point, although it's been pretty fluid, the sort of rebel stronghold has been something like that in the east of the country. So Sarir oil field would be well within that. Now, today, significantly, the rebels managed to export oil from Tobruk, which has always been well within their stronghold, right up on the eastern border with Egypt. And it was a tanker that can carry around 100 million US dollars worth of oil, if indeed it was completely full. And it would mark quite a major shift because obviously the income they can get from that. I think what is sort of confusing me is you've got to wonder why, for starters, British airplanes would come in from their bases in Italy and take out an oil field. It would mark a very different change in tactics. And equally, you have the question of how do the Libyan government know that they were British airplanes? Simply because they will be releasing their missiles from quite some distance. OK, they do have different wing shapes to the French and other coalition planes, but unless you have an eyewitness account, then it's very hard to verify. It's an important area, the area we're looking at. It's called the Sirte Basin, and it covers something like that. And this is where 80% of Libya's oil comes from. And that is why we've seen so much fighting sort of along this area here, around the towns of Brega, as you can see on the map, Ras Lanouf, Bin Jawad, and the front line has been pushing back and forth. So I think until we get confirmation from either side, or indeed, I suppose, if there were British planes, the Ministry of Defence, then it's hard to say either way. And if it was British planes involved, or even any other NATO planes involved, you're not likely to know until they're back safe at base. And then really, essentially, press release is released as and when.